Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of Pattern in the Woods. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys some tips and tricks on fly tying, some techniques that I use to make fly tying just a little bit easier and make your life a lot less stressful to tie amazing flies just like these. So before we get started, I just want to say thanks for all the support recently. We've been getting up to 200 plus views in a month, so hopefully we'll just keep going up from there. I appreciate all the support though, and all the comments that you guys leave on my videos. Comment down below if you guys would like me to tie any of your favorite flies so you can learn how to tie them, or just any outdoor related videos that you guys have. I appreciate it. Let's get on with the first tip. Technique number one is when starting your thread. I've watched some beginners actually try and tie knots with their thread, like tie knots around the hook to start your string. That is completely unnecessary. So for starting your thread on your hook, just grab your loose piece of thread, hold it atop of the hook shank, take a one wrap around, and then start wrapping back your thread. That will tightly secure your extra piece of thread that you can then take your scissors and snip off. So that is how you start your thread, then you can build up from there. So we can do that just one more time to teach you guys. If you guys do not know how to start your thread, we can do that just one more time. So grab your extra piece, start it from the top, and over wrap itself. That'll secure it in nice and tightly, and then you can snip it. Just like that is how you start your thread. And let's get on with technique and tip number two. Technique and tip number two is when whip finishing. I've seen people do half hitches, and whip finishing is just so much easier. A lot of people think whip finishing is hard because whip finishers are hard to use. They're really not hard to use at all. So I'm going to teach you how to use a whip finisher. So once you are on your hook, you already have your fly finished, for example. You already have your fly finished, and your thread is at the eye of the hook. When you're ready to whip finish, I've seen a lot of people cut the thread and just half hitch it, between the fingers. Whip finishers are a lot easier, and it's going to make a secure fly, and it will not break. So to whip finish, all you're going to have to do is catch the thread in between the hook and put the underpart on this part of the whip finisher. So you're going to want to hook it through the top, catch it on this bottom piece here, and then you're going to want to spin it. That's where these whip finishers have these rotating balls right here, and they can spin around. So you want to pinch that when starting. You want to pinch that, catch it, bring the thread up around that, and then spin it. Now it's ready. You just wrap it round and round. And then all from this position, all you do is lift up, and it pops this right out. And then you can just pull your extra piece of thread down, and it will tighten that right up. Makes a solid knot. So that is my technique number two. Let's get on to technique and tip number three. Technique and tip number three is when tying a sucker spawn or any type of egg pattern. When handling with glow bug yarn, especially doing multicolored ones, especially with like a red dot on an egg, instead of using the full glow bug yarn, it's a lot easier if you actually tear it right down the middle and just use a fine piece like this. Now I know it gets all stringy, so what you need to do is actually roll it up in your hands. If you roll it up in your hands, that turns it into a perfect piece of yarn again, and you can quickly tie on here. I'll just show you, for example, that it makes it a lot easier to tie sucker spawn and stuff. You just tie in your piece of glow bug yarn, you just tie in your piece of glow bug yarn here. Snip the excess piece here, and it just makes that single piece of this is just a quick one, so it's gonna be really sloppy, but this single piece of yarn here makes tying a sucker spawn just so much easier. See how you can loop it so much easier? Tie your sucker spawn pattern just like that, you know? So just using a single piece of yarn here with your egg patterns or your sucker spawns will make it a heck of a lot easier. And that is all I have for this video, guys, today. I hope you have an amazing day, amazing rest of your week, whatever you're going through. I will see you all in my next video, hopefully, if you stay tuned. Have a terrific rest of your week.